Hi, my name is Meng. I'm from Design+Code. This is the 13th section of the ProtoPie course. Today we're going to learn how to use variables and how to detect the positioning of your mouse over on the screen. So we pass the variables, as you can see, the values in the top left, and then we're using those values to apply a 3D transform response, and that's how we get this really neat parallax effect. So we need to start the tutorial by getting the 13.detect mouse sketch file, and then we're gonna go to create a new Pi, change the device to an iPad, and then go ahead and import from Sketch the only artboard at 2x because it's an iPad. I don't have a ton of real estate, so I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. The same for the preview, you can resize the window. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to set up a rectangle that's gonna serve as a mouse over space. So we're gonna go to Shape, create a rectangle, set the size to 100%, both width and height, and I'm gonna put that at the bottom. I'm going to set it to the same color as the background, which is white. And then I'm gonna use this to detect the mouse over trigger. I'm going to rename this layer to detect. And then selecting this layer, I will add a trigger called mouse over. The mouse over trigger is very useful for buttons so that you can set mouse over states. So it's very useful for websites and buttons that require that kind of interaction. First of all, I will need to set empty variables so that I can use those values from the mouse over and then store that into those variables. So I'm gonna click here and then plus for all scenes and then rename this one to X. Now for the variable, you have multiple types. Just like in programming, you have the type number, text, or a color. In this case, since it's about the mouse positioning, which is using a number, we're gonna set it to number. We also need the Y position, so I'm gonna create a new one, rename this to Y, set it to number as well. Okay, so once I have those variables, I can decide to assign them to the mouse over values. So first of all, I need to create a response called assign. For assign, I can assign to any of the variables that I have, such as X, and then use the value from a formula. A formula, as I explained previously, can get anything that is dynamic. So for example, I can get the width or height or positioning of something. In this case, I'm just given a dynamic variable called $mouse X. And this has nothing to do with the variables. This is just a preset dynamic value coming from formula. And you can see when you do $, there are a bunch of them, such as time, touch velocity, keyboard height, stuff like that. In this case, I'm just gonna use mouse X. So the mouse X is going to be assigned to my variable X. Again, to explain this, I'm using the rectangle to detect the mouse over. Every time that my mouse is moving on that surface, it's going to assign a dynamic value from formula to a variable that I just created. I'm going to do the same for the Y position. So assign, click on Y, and then here, click on formula, $mouse Y. Now that I have those values stored, I can just apply them anywhere I want. So let's give it a test. I'm going to create a new text layer. And for this text, I'm going to add a new response called text. And then for this specific layer, the content is going to be a formula. And I'm just gonna put X, which is my variable. So basically I'm putting the X variable to put in the content of this text layer. Once I have that, I can test it and you can see the values changing. If you want the values to update more in real time, you have to select all three responses. And for each of them, you can set repeat, set the interval to 0, and check infinite repeat. So now when you mouse over, you can see the value is being updated in real time. Now it's time to animate. So I'm going to add a new trigger called detect. And I'm going to detect the changes for the X variable. Then I'm going to animate the frame layer. Selecting frame, I'm going to add a response for move and set the X position using a formula. The formula is simply going to use the X value, press OK, and now you can see that it's updating. We have a problem with the animation, so we're going to set it to linear with a duration of 0 so that it updates in real time. Now we have a few problems. The first, that we're using the value 78 from here and it starts from where your mouse is. We would like to have an offset so that it looks like what we have on the screen, so we have some offset in terms of positioning. The second thing is, we don't want to start with 0. We would like to start with position 0 in the middle. So what we need to do is to change the assign formula and set to minus half of the width of 768, which is 384. And then for the Y, it would be minus 512. So now you can see in my preview, I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller. When I go to the middle, it has a positioning of 0 right from the middle, and then negative, and then positive on the right side. Secondly, we're going to add the offset of the actual positioning that we have in our initial setup. So we're gonna select the frame, and here we already have the positioning at 210 for the X. So we're gonna change the X value to plus 210. Now you can see that the offset is good. We're gonna do the same for the Y. So having frame selected again, click on move, and now we're gonna move to the Y using a formula, Y plus 153. Let's set the duration to 0 and the animation to linear. It's now going to affect both vertically and horizontally. Let's do the same for border. So click on move and then set the X plus 193. So that's the number that we have for the positioning right here. We're gonna add another one for Y as well. Y plus 135. And for both of them, we can set the duration to 0 and the animation to linear. Now it's going to apply to both the border and the frame. If you want to have a parallax effect, you're going to need to divide the X or the Y variables. So I'm going to set the X variable for the first move and divide it by 2. The same for the Y positioning, Y divided by 2. And for the border layer, I just need to divide by 2.2 or any different number than 2. So I'm going to do the same for the Y, 2.2. Now you can see that as you move, both the borders and the frame are moving at a different pace. Great. Now we can basically apply the same thing for the UI. So I'm just gonna repeat the steps, move to X divided 2.5, let's say, plus 236. Let's do the same for the Y as well. Y divided by 2.5 plus 230. Now the oval border, move X divided by 2 plus 615. For the Y, Y divided by 2 minus 18. Finally, the oval, move X divided by 2.3 plus 593. Move again for Y divided by 2.3 plus 38. And these numbers, 2.3 to 2.2, they can be changed depending on how you feel the parallax should be. But at the end, you should see something like this. Obviously, we need to change the duration to 0 and set the linear animation timing. Now we have a really nice parallax effect. The only thing that's left is to do a little bit of 3D transform to add a nice touch to this. Let's start with the UI. We're gonna add a 3D rotate response, set rotate to, and use the variable x divided by 100. Make sure to set the duration to 0, linear animation, and now we have a really nice 3D transform effect. It's going to be more apparent when we apply to the other two frames. So frame and border, I'm going to apply frame 3D rotate, border 3D rotate, select both of them, rotate to x divided by 100, linear, duration 0. And that's it. Let me make this a little bit bigger. And now we have a really cool 3D parallax effect. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to use variables, how to detect the mouse positioning, and using those values to apply a move and 3D transform animation. In the next and final session, we're going to learn how to use sensors and how to use send and receive. So I'll see you then.